Durant is now a member of the Houston Rockets. Earlier this morning, I was on Fox 26 with Nate Griffin, and we were talking about the billboards all across the city, and we got into back and forth over this. Last year, the Rockets won 52 games. Per most sports books, their projected win total for 2025-2026 is 54 and a half. How many more wins does Kevin Durant get you? This might be controversial. I'm not thinking it's going to get you as many more as you'd think. I do not think that adding Kevin Durant makes the Rockets a 60-win team. I think some do feel that way, and that it's going to be very important for the Rockets to try their best to get the 1 seed. But it might be a foregone conclusion in a Western Conference that features the Oklahoma City Thunder. But I've been thinking about it, and I mean, first off, the West is just a difficult conference. And the fact that the Rockets had the record that they did last year, a bit of an anomaly, no, given their offensive limitations. Sure, they play hard, intense defense. Ime Udoka benches guys that aren't doing what he wants. I like that about him. No one is a made man on this team. We'll see if Kevin Durant is someone that also is held accountable to on that level. Like you saw Alperen Şengün and Jalen Green get held accountable from time to time. But are the Rockets making a big jump from a regular season win total by adding Kevin Durant? I just think it's going to be too hard for them to make that jump from 52 to 60 plus. Thunder had 68 wins this past season. I mean, that was an incredible year. They were in first place by 16 games in the Western Conference. 16. They ran away with that thing. Cleveland and Boston also had 60 plus wins. I suppose, given Boston's uncertainty and what's going on with the Pacers, there will be less wins from those teams, which means theoretically a few more wins to go around to the Houston Rockets. But I think the West is going to be a little more difficult, and specifically their own division is going to be a little more difficult. Do you think that the Spurs and Mavericks will be the pushovers that at times they felt like this past season? The Mavericks missing Luka Doncic for a while and then trading him. The Spurs in year 2 with Wemby. The Spurs with Stephon Castle in year 2. Now they had um, uh,
De'Aaron Fox. The Rockets didn't play De'Aaron Fox with
that's true.
on the Spurs. Or if they did, they only played him once because I know they started the season. I think they played like 3 out of their first 10 was against the Spurs. They got Harper.
And they added Dylan Harper in the draft. Not that Dylan Harper, this Dylan Harper. Basketball Dylan Harper, son of Chicago Bull Dylan Harper. Not that Dylan Harper.
Just a young teenager trying to make their way in.
Yep. Some exceptional ball skills, it seems like.
Barely
legal.
legal.
Some of his Rutgers highlights. So you got that with the Spurs and the Mavericks. I mean, they got Cooper Flag. They should be better. So I think that it's going to be a little more difficult for you to get to that 52-win total. You're better. I think you have more wins. I just don't think you're going to have that many more wins. And I think some people are looking at the Rockets thinking, oh, yeah, this year, this team, this is a 60-win team now with Kevin Durant aboard. I'm not going to go that far. And by the way, if they don't get to 60 wins, ultimately that doesn't necessarily matter. The Pacers, take a look at where they were last year. And sure, the Eastern Conference a little bit easier, but I mean, that was the 4 seed in the East.
Yeah. And to me, like the Kevin Durant edition, especially the Kevin Durant edition, that it's more of a trying to go from 3 playoff wins to 16 than it is a regular season move. It's more about the postseason wins than regular season. Because once you get up to 50, over 50, it's all matchups and like who do you want to play? Like there's not anything extra of being the 2 seed at 52 wins versus the 2 seed at 58. That there's not really anything that changes there. So to me, I don't even really think that much about, like, I think they'll be a top 4 team in the West. That's about all I need out of them in the regular season. How many wins that is, like you said about the Pacers, like to me isn't super relevant.
All that matters to me is that Kevin Durant is healthy come playoff time. so that Kevin Durant can score in the half court the way that it was so difficult for you to score. Like
Yeah.
you can't have another postseason of that. If you do, you'll lose to whoever you play. That Golden State Warriors team is not the Golden State Warriors team of old, and you really could not get anything up against them. And I mean, that's the Warriors, who are no slouch defensively, but it's not Oklahoma City defensively.
Yeah.
There's better teams that are going to make it more difficult for you. And also, I think a lot of people are sleeping on Denver too.
Yeah, to me, Denver, I mean, I don't know what I'm looking at one that has Houston at 54.5 and Denver at 53.5.
And I think Denver's odds to win the title are longer too. The Rockets have
Oh, really?
shorter odds to win the title than
Yeah.
the Nuggets, which I also think is ridiculous. They have Jokic.
Yeah.
Durant's 37. That doesn't mean they can't potentially beat the Nuggets in a series, that they can't challenge the Thunder in a series. But I think that in our jubilation over the addition of Kevin Durant, I think a lot of us are looking at this team thinking, yeah, there's a chance that there's 60 wins. That's if Alperen Şengün and Amin Thompson take a massive step forward from this past season to next. And I think you got to be patient and cautious with your optimism about how big that step is going to be.
Yeah.
A step forward is still a step forward. You can't get upset that over 4 months, a guy in his early 20s isn't taking like a massive step forward as a player. It takes time. It took time for Jason Tatum. It took time for Jaylen Brown. It took time for a lot of players who came into this league to get to the level where they're at. Hell, it took a really long time for Nikola Jokic. We were just mentioning a moment ago. So just things to keep in mind. I think they're better, without a doubt. I think they're more of a threat in the playoffs. But I also think when we're taking a look at what the regular season win total is, I don't think it's going to be that many more. And I think people should be okay with that, because it's not about that. It's about young players that are going to get extended opportunities like a Reed Shepherd developing. And it's about the guys that we've already seen deliver also developing. Durant just needs to stay healthy, which is not a certainty. And I think the Rockets are going to manage his minutes in a way too, where there's going to be a bunch of games he probably doesn't play, which would also probably hurt the Rockets' chances to win in a couple of games. Jalen Green, for all his faults, played all the games he possibly could last year. You know, that guy's an Iron Man. It does help to have a guy like that who can score every single night. Is Durant going to play every single night? How does that affect how you look at the Rockets' ability to win games on a night-to-night basis during a regular season? It has to affect it in some way, shape, or form to not have a guy like that and not have like that one primary scoring option who is able to create his own shot. Because, for all his faults, Green could create his own shot. Just sometimes the shots were like, what are you doing?
Yeah, don't create that one. Yeah, I think that's a good point of when Durant is out, that's when you need the small steps or whatever steps you get from Şengün, Thompson, Jabari, Reed Shepherd. Like that's when you need it, because this team is very similar to last year's team, just with Kevin Durant instead of Jalen Green. But like you said, Jalen Green never missed time, and
No,
for better or for worse, that you got him every night.
Yeah.
Whatever he gave you, you got every night. Where I'm walking into this season expecting like 15 games that Kevin Durant won't play, just off the top, just by being 37 years old, Kevin Durant. So those 15, 20 games, however many he misses, like you'll need a engine of your offense. You'll need the engine, but not Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter.
No,
You'll need Reed Shepherd or whoever to step up and carry your offense in those games. And I think it's possible, but they actually do need to prove it.
From Ocho Texto on the text line, most interactive sports talk show in Houston. Paul, my uncle still doesn't think the Rockets are championship contenders because they don't have enough proven shooters and playmakers. Where does the offense come from when Kevin Durant is resting her out? Yeah, exactly what we said. And I mean, Fred VanVleet has his moments, but Fred VanVleet, very inconsistent. And we know that this is a guy who's just going to chuck up every open look that he gets. Sometimes that's bad.
Yeah, it's going to have to be Şengün on the no Durant nights. It'll be, hey, Şengün, you're an all-star last year. Just play like it again. You need to do it again,
and better, and like he's gonna have to be better underneath the basket. For whatever reason, he just wasn't good last year. I think it was because he was putting more effort in on the defensive side of things, but get in better shape, get a little stronger.
Yeah. And Thompson. Like I
That
think
too.
Thompson's going to be a little bit better this year as well.
From the 8-3-2, take all the losses where the Rockets offense collapsed in the fourth quarter. I think about all those Timberwolves games. And I think Durant helps you win at least half of those.
That is a good point of like we're not talking about the extra games you get by playing Durant,
Yeah,
but
like you're
when
going to get
Durant's in
some
there.
because you have a closer now.
Yeah.
We were talking about where's the Rockets closer all season long.
Yeah, right there. Number 7. Tall,
From
skinny one.
yeah. From the 9-3-6, KD gets you more playoff wins, not regular season wins.
That's how I view this as well.
Totally agree. Also, a lot of people want the ketchup and mustard uniforms back, and we all agree on that front.
They should.